A big meeting on congestion pricing scheduled for next week, looking at which drivers will have to pay up and who's exempt.
This is we're learning more about who has been pushing for those kinds of exemptions. Fox 5's Chris Welch shows us which companies are spending thousands lobbying government officials.
In case you've been living in a pothole for a number of years, congestion pricing is the plan that would charge motorists between $9 and $23 for entering the Central Business District, south of 60th in Manhattan. The plan will bring in $15 billion for the MTA.
It's going to create a more accessible and better run system in the end for the subways, the buses, and the commuter railroads.
On Monday, the Traffic Mobility Review Board will meet once again. That's the arm of the MTA that'll determine the rules, specifically who pays what and who may be exempt. This is a list of 122 entities that, throughout the public comment period, have emerged as suggestions for who should be exempt. But some companies have been lobbying, spending money to influence government policy to make sure they're on the final list. In this document, culled from disclosure forms provided to the state, rideshare company Uber appears dozens of times, competitor Lyft even more, UPS more than a dozen. Those you might expect. Maybe a bit more surprising, Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, also on the list, lobbying in the hopes of being exempt.
But it's not just the MTA that's being targeted, it's all the elected officials.
Rachel Foss is senior policy advisor at watchdog organization Reinvent Albany, which we should point out also appears on the lobbying forms as the group supports congestion pricing. She says there's one key piece of information to keep in mind when it comes to exemptions.
The more carve-outs, the more exemptions, the higher the toll is going to actually be for everybody else.
Now, opponents like New Jersey lawmakers who filed a lawsuit argue the environmental assessment was insufficient, but there appears to be little hope in stopping the process. The infrastructure, in many cases, already up. On the Upper East Side, Chris Welch, Fox 5 News.